is now knee flexion, and what you're going to do with this while pulling back, keeping the stability in your core, not sitting back against the chair, and keeping your knees aligned and your toes aligned. You're going to extend, and then you're going to pull in, making sure you give yourself room for your foot to clear the floor. Now for this one, we're doing knee extension. We have the resistance behind us. So now we're focusing on the extension part, keeping our toes in line with our knees, not like medial collapsing or going laterally. And then just making sure that the motion is nice and controlled.
I want you to brace like I was going to punch in the stomach. I want you to
exercise now we are doing hip abduction, and what we're going to do, we're going to shift our weight to the one foot, we're going to pull out, come back, think of bringing your heels back to your heel, so we're out, extending the leg, coming back in. Now for this one, we're going to be doing hip adduction, so we're pulling our leg out and we're pulling it in, where the resistance will be, so we're coming out. And when we pull in, bringing our heels together and not letting the bag slam back out. Okay, so here we're doing step ups. So when you're stepping up, we're thinking about engaging our glutes, keeping our stability, stepping up, shuffling to the edge, and then we're going to step down, keeping that same stability, making sure my knee doesn't collapse. So for this exercise, what we're going to be doing are chair sit to stance, and what we're going to do, we're going to keep our hands on our sides. We're going to sit down. Hands can be out in front or on your side, or even over your chest. And now from here, without using support from your hands, you're going to stand up, making sure again your knees don't collapse and that your knees don't go far over your toes. And again, nice and controlled sitting back down. So for this exercise, we're doing slides, and how this one works is we're going to almost lunge forward, sliding forward, bending your knees, keeping your hips stacked over your toes, and then you're going to slide back up, and then you're going to slide back, doing the same motion, making sure your knee doesn't collapse in, and then pull yourself back up. What we're going to be doing is we're going to be using the sliders, and we're going side lunges to the side, and then pulling back in, coming back up. Again, making sure that your knees don't collapse over the other one, or that your knee goes too far over your toes. Kind of broken down into three different types, coming from three different causes. So trauma, spinal degeneration, and then other. So trauma could be like whiplash or like severe like stress in your life or depression, something like that. Spinal degeneration has to do with like cervical spondylosis is one of the things, and then others would be like joints that are under major stress, like a herniated disc or some type of rheumatoid condition. So some symptoms of cervicogenic dizziness. So this includes neck pain, stiffness. You can have some sort of suboccipital headache, some sort of tingling, numbness in your arms or in different places of your head even. Lack of postural control, this feeling of imbalance or unsteadiness, lateral head tilt due to some kind of tension in your upper traps or in your SCM, limited range of motion in your cervical segment, and then also anxiety or panic disorder. So where does cervicogenic dizziness come from? And what I found was that there is a disrupted afferent input from your cervical muscles, which then alters your proprioception. So the afferent receptors are in your cervical muscles, and they contain connections, both central and reflex connections. And then, so this can then affect your balance and your eye movement control, head-eye coordination and then head relocation. So then these proprioceptors are in deep neck muscles, and these muscles include your suboccipitals, so maybe something like your splenius capitis, and your deep neck flexors, something like longus capitis and longus coli. But then I think there's more superficial muscles too that can play a role in it, like your traps or your lev scap, and then something like your SEM or your scalenes. Okay, so there's different kinds of assessments for this type of dizziness, which include joint position error testing, the Dix-Hallpike maneuver, the vestibulo-ocular reflex, cervical range of motion, and then balance testing as well.
What was that first one there? Okay, there we go. Yeah.
Yeah, so joint position error. So this is the one I'm going to demonstrate for you. Why don't you first, with your eyes open, rotate your head towards me and rotate back towards the target. Good. So now you're going to do that same thing again, but with your eyes closed. And this time what you're going to do is you'll rotate your head towards me, rotating back to where you feel the center point is.
Okay.
Yeah. And keeping your eyes closed. Okay. So you guys can see that he has undershot the target, right? And so he has come over here, but whereas when his eyes were open, he could get right on the target, right? So why don't you do that again, but now why don't you go the other way?
Okay.
Yeah, with your eyes closed. Okay, so this one's not awful. It's not bad, right? But essentially this test can help to determine if there's like tension in your muscle and it's affecting your ability to know where you are in space when your eyes